let's do this. Let's talk a little Miami Dolphins football. Yes, he is here, Omar Kelly. And the Ejdconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report is next.
The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
There we go. There he is.
What up, Big O? Hey, just let me know. Can you hear me good?
Oh, we hear you good, bro.
Okay, good. Then all right.
All right. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. That's the beauty of all of this, man. We can do mobile. We have a little flexibility. You know what I mean? We're digital, so we're not tied to anything. You know what I mean? We can adjust. Today we have inside. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's all good. I mean, we love our live audience, but obviously the majority of the audience is all digital and on demand and all that stuff. So that's why things can move around a little bit. So how you doing on a Friday? You doing all right? You doing good? You feeling good,
man? I went to my first concert performance in the pandemic last night. My boy is a Maya fan. Went to a Maya concert, 2 guys.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. If you like her music, who cares, man?
That's true.
I mean, aren't you secure with your sexuality, dude? I mean, give me a break.
I am absolutely.
You're not gonna wear a pink shirt, bro? Really? Seriously? Right?
No, I used to have a pink shirt. I used to rock it in junior high. Like, I loved my pink shirt.
Right.
Pink polo too.
You know how many Inter Miami pink shirts I have, dude? We're good, bro. I can wear. You know, it's not a big deal, man. It's if you love the music, you love the music. She's a talent, man. I mean, it's not like you're going to go see some schmuck. You know, she's got skills, dude. So
and ages well and still sexy. I was quite impressed with how sexy she was at still 40. Not a lot of people can carry that.
You see, there you go. That's like watching Sade on stage, and you're like, damn, dude.
Yeah,
she's in her 50s. Really? Like,
I would love to see Sade. That's a good thought. Good goal now.
Yes, that's a bucket list right there. If you can watch, she just doesn't tour a ton, so you have to catch her whenever she does, and maybe you have to travel because sometimes we don't get a fair shake down here in South Florida. Sometimes, man.
No, I don't know why, and I wish somebody would change that. But yeah, we don't get a fair shake. I wish the Hard Rock or somebody would change that.
Well, it's not a matter of that. It's the artists, the expenses, because we're in that peninsula. They have to come all the way down, and then they have to drive all the way back out again. So it kind of becomes a pain in the ass. A lot of artists, what they do is they start here. So that way they don't have to do the stinking U-turn, and they start here, and then they take off, and then they go to wherever they're going.
That's true. Or they end here.
And then the demo also kind of hurts us too because we're so Latin based that I mean, look, you watch the AAA and the BB&T Center, and it's like 2 different arenas, and the acts that they bring. You understand? You'll see more Latin and rap actually go down to the AAA, and you'll see more of the rock go up to the BB&T Center. There's some rock at the AAA, but it's really mostly rock and country that goes up to the BB&T Center. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of a weird thing, and I think the demo also affects us a little bit too for certain bands. I know for rock it hurts big time, and more than anything else. I think more than any other genre, rock is really hurt. All right, so let's get into a little Miami Dolphins. First of all, were you surprised, or how surprised were you that Robert Jones and Trill Williams ended up making it? I know we had talked about Trill Williams throughout, that he was impressing. Yeah. He was a borderline guy and all that. So obviously he made it in, but Robert Jones, and obviously they've made such an enormous investment in the line, and here's another kid that they're trying to see if they can develop. Did I lose you? Ooh, look at it. See, you got Omar's face is frozen. There we go. It's unfreezing now. There we go. Let's see. Wait a minute. Now, see, it's like that commercial. It's like that commercial of the lady that does the face for the baby. And she, oh my God, I gotta fix it. See, there you go. It's like a commercial. We're in an what is it? Verizon, AT&T. I forgot what company it is, but did you see that? It's like he saw that lady's baby. Or he's really looking at me. So we'll try to get Omar on. At 11 a.m., Dudley Durong will be posting a interview, and I joined him last night. I don't know how long the conversation was, but it was 20, 30 minutes or something like that. So just in case, if you guys follow Dudley Durong, Dougie and I did a nice little segment yesterday. We had some fun like we always do. And so make sure you end up getting it. Let's see if we can get Omar back. Omar just looked like he was trying to fart. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like that AT&T or whatever Verizon commercial, whatever. And when they show the lady, those commercials are actually really good. Let's see. He's trying to connect again. Let's see if we can get him on, but it's not completely connected. Let's see. I'm looking at it here, see when it comes up. Omar needs to get Wi-Fi in his Bentley. By the way, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, okay? If you smash watching Omar, if you liked watching Omar have the unhappy face, smash the like button, okay? Big O, why do you guys think Greer really picked Tua over Herbert? Where do you think each will be in 10 years? I think Tua is going to be a baller, my brother. But that's just me. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't fall for all the crap that went on last year. I was super impressed by Tua last year. Not slightly impressed, not depressed, not calling it mediocre or average. I was incredibly impressed last year by Tua. So I'm a lot different than other people. I think Tua is going to be a monster. Herbert, I still don't know. I know he's a fantastic talent, but I still need to see him in big-time moments. I need to see him win big games. I saw him win no real games last year. That's the thing. Go look at the schedule, and you'll see. I think we have Omar now. Let's see. There we go. I don't know if it's freezing up. He's frozen again. He's frozen again. Anyway, sir, as I've said 1,000 times, I was super impressed with Tua. It wasn't his offense. It wasn't his offensive coordinator. He had no offseason. He was rehabbing a hip. He didn't run the first team. You know, he was coming back from a hip injury as it is. And he threw more touchdowns than interceptions, won more than he lost. I don't know what more people want from the kid. Now it's his offense. It's everything designed around him. They got players for him, all of this stuff. I expect him to take off now. All right, we're going to try again. All right, you remember, you ever seen that commercial where the woman's showing the baby to the woman, and then there's a freeze, and she like
that deserves the commercial of the year from a guy who just had a baby. I totally can relate to that commercial.
Well,
you know
everybody can relate to that commercial.
Yeah,
come on.
You know how many people you saw show? We had to show our baby to via Zoom. You know what, Zoom or something, some streaming site or FaceTime. Yes, totally can relate to that commercial.
Well, you were that commercial just a minute ago because your face is like, hey, why am I frozen? Somebody said, oh, Omar's trying to fart.
Oh. But you were asking me about Trill Williams and Robert Jones.
Yeah.
Not totally surprised about Trill Williams. It makes sense. He showed flashes. There was a point where they were testing him. It was second team. He got absolutely roasted by Matt Ryan in a joint practice. But you just saw the fight, the commitment, that he's got the athleticism. So he'll probably just be a core special teams player this season, and they'll just continue to see what they have. But I see an Eric Rowe type player from him with some development.
And credit to them, because Nick Needham didn't look like he belonged early on. He looked like he was a disaster. Okay.
What you mean early on, like in camp, or
like 3 years ago? Like, remember that at first, dude, he was getting burned left and right. He was playing terrible. Go back and look at it. He was playing terrible, and they saw something even in the struggles.
No,
and they the kid, and he grew up.
What I remember about Nick Needham is during training camp of 2019. They were just rotating guys, tons of guys rotating in and out, not Xavier, of course, but everybody. This was before Byron Jones. And Nick Needham was the only rookie that was getting rotated in with the starters. And he'd start like every other third day, and we're like, what are they doing there? Then he didn't make the team, but then he made the practice squad. Then he started playing. Then he started playing well.
Yes.
And basically, he had that good game in Indianapolis, and Flores made the comment to my former coworker, Speed Dean, let's not make him a superstar.
Right.
And from there, superstar was born, man. So, Nick Needham is the player that I have the most respect for on that team, because nothing has ever been handed to him. He's taken everything he's ever gotten.
Yeah, you know what was my line for him? By the end of the preseason, I go, with Nick, we don't need to see him anymore. That was my line for Nick by the end of the preseason, because it was ugly. But to their credit, that's why I always tell people, you got to have a little patience with young guys. You got to give them some time before we actually make the final declaration they can't play. And so through his struggles, they saw something. And kudos to them, because the kid ended up proving that he belongs. And so obviously Trill Williams and Robert Jones, they must see something in these kids too, even through their youth and inexperience and maybe some struggles, that there's something there. And one of the things he talked about with Robert Jones was versatility, which, as you know, Omar, if you're versatile, they're going to love you on this.
Yeah, I think Robert Jones moves people in the run game, which is, I think, beneficial for them, because they've got one guard that doesn't move people and is great pass protection in Solomon Kinley. And then Robert Jones is probably a guy that moves people but isn't necessarily great in pass protection. But we'll see. He's an undrafted rookie. He's a very talented player. They guaranteed the most money in the NFL to an undrafted player, to Robert Jones. So they must see something that they really like and want to develop, and that's really what it's all about.
And by the way, Omar, as I've talked about before, we have too much assumptions through the fan base, and maybe even through the media sometimes, that all 5 of these draft picks on the line are going to hit, and they're not. So maybe Robert Jones is a guy that takes over for one of these guys that doesn't make it, because there's no way Chris Greer hits on all 5 of these draft picks. He's not. I mean, he's done a great job. He can't be that good. I mean, if he is,
he hasn't done a great job with the offensive line. But yes, I hear what you're saying.
Too early for that.
Okay, sure. I will say this, and I was saying this to an executive that was asking me about the Dolphins yesterday. Every member of their offensive line is average at best. Some are not even average. And
I mean, again, too early. I'm reading in Detroit. Here's the GM having to come up and defend Penei Sewell, who has struggled the entire preseason with pass rushers, giving up sacks, giving up hurries, all kinds of stuff. Penei has had a terrible preseason.
Yeah,
and he's looked average. Huh?
I didn't know that. But I would love to. I would love
but
to.
But I follow
the film.
I also enlightened you about the receiver that for the Bengals that kept dropping, and you saw it firsthand in that game.
Yeah,
that he dropped. You know what I mean?
I knew he was dropping passes, but yeah,
this was all throughout. So it's funny because we gotta slow down a little bit, okay? And again, Penei Sewell is not a bust, but if he was here in Miami, everybody would be writing, he's average, he's a bust, he sucks. fire Chris Greer, all this stuff. That's what would be going on. If they would have drafted Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell with the preseasons they've had, Chris Greer would be getting freaking roasted and toasted by everybody.
We'll see. Yeah.
It's true.
Greer gets a lot of passes. I think it ultimately his job stability and safety will be predicated on Tua or what he does if Tua doesn't hit. So Tua, in my mind, Tua, Watson, Rodgers. If Tua doesn't hit, does he move on to Watson or Rodgers? And I think that's it. So to me, Greer's got 2 years, and if Tua doesn't hit or they don't address the quarterback in 2 years,
and if he hits on Tua,
he'll be here. Somebody, I was just having that conversation.
Well, I would imagine. I was going to tell you, you better write an effing article to put a statue outside that stadium.
No way. You don't get a statue without a title.
Oh yeah, no, you put the statue out there, bro. Well, no, Marino's got a statue without a title. My point is, this franchise has been around for 50-something years. They've never had a GM that can find a coach and a QB. Put an effing statue.
Never had. Hold on. Okay, GM. Okay, wasn't Don Shula like the GM?
That's the problem. It doesn't count because he's his own GM and a coach.
All right.
Don't count.
Fine. I agree. So doesn't count. All right.
It's a technicality, baby.
You beat me with a technicality. That's fine.
No, but hey, the 25 years since the old man got pushed out the door, no GM could find a coach and a quarterback. I mean, a quarterback and a coach, right? So, and Jimmy was kind of a GM coach too, by the way, and he couldn't find a quarterback either. So I'm just saying, I mean, what Chris Greer could end up doing is something that's never been done in Dolphin history.
No title, no statue. I have a firm policy now. No title, no statue.
So when are you taking down the Marino statue?
No, it's after Marino. It's after Marino. No title, no statue.
I'm going to build a statue for his ass if Tua. I think Tua's going to come through. I'm not one of those guys. I think the kid's going to be an absolute.
As I told you, my only concerns are durability and arm strength. I don't have any other concern.
I don't have any concerns about arm strength, bro. I watched Joe Montana and Bob Greasy and Drew Brees. I've watched guys that didn't have Chad Pennington, even the early Chad Pennington, fresh out of Marshall, did not have a gun. I'm not talking about the guy that got here to Miami. That guy had really no arm. I'm talking about fresh out of Marshall. He didn't have a gun either. Plenty of quarterbacks in this league have succeeded without having a gun.
I did not say he needed a gun. My only concern is, can he throw in the Meadowlands in a windy December day? Or in Buffalo in a snow day? Those are my only concerns. I also have a pitch count concern when he's thrown, because late, what you don't realize, or a lot of people didn't realize, is late in December's, and this was pointed out to me by a scout, an advanced scout. Late in December, at the end of the year, he had no arm and could not throw past about 15, 20 yards. And yes, you can give all of that to the surgery. You can give all that to the procedure. You can give all of that to the need of the rehab. And I have watched training camp with concern for the arm, but then that concern just alleviated. And
well, his core is fixed. His core is fixed. His core is fixed, my man. Everything comes from the core. I don't care if you're playing baseball, it comes from the core. You're playing correct. Golf, it comes from the core. You're playing QB, it comes from the core. And if your core isn't 100, you're going to watch him run better. You're going to watch him cut when he runs better. You're going to watch him throw better. Yeah. You're going to watch a stronger arm now. Everything now, confidence is where the core is. It's 100%.
David Fales told me that. He told me he improved his arm doing Pilates, strengthening his core. And it's true, because I remember being a fan of David Fales when he was in college player, but then I was like, he didn't have an arm. Then he got here, and he carved out a respectable NFL career for himself by actually developing an arm. So props to him. He'll probably be one of those guys who'll be a coach in 5 years. So yeah. But he said core work, Pilates work, and Tua's done everything. Tua's done everything that you need to do in order to put yourself in position to be successful. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
and when Brent Grimes was going to be signed and he was coming off the Achilles, a lot of people were worried about that. And one of the things that I told everybody about it at that moment was, don't worry about Brent Grimes. He's a pro's pro. So when you have a pro's pro, they rehab the right, like Klay Thompson. I know Klay Thompson's rehabbing the right way. Now, he could get injured again or whatever. That could happen to any athlete. But he is going to handle his rehab the way he handles his game, the way he handles his life. Everything is going to be done the right way. So when you have those kind of people that are true professionals, you can take those chances on those injured guys because you know they're going to take their injury serious. The slackers that you've been around also, Omar, you know the guy that doesn't work hard, doesn't try hard, and then when he gets injured, he's also half-assed in his rehab. That's the beauty about certain pros. You know they're going to work like a Drew Brees. When he had that shoulder, he had to work as diligently as he does to be a quarterback the same way in his rehab. And to me, that's always the key. When I look at injured players and taking chances on them, I look at their character first and foremost, because if they're professionals with their game, they're going to be professionals with their rehab.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into what happens with the 7 wide receivers, because Will Fuller obviously is out week 1. Do you anticipate them to keep everybody when Will Fuller comes back for week 2? Do they cut a receiver? I'm going to ask you a really difficult question that it's Flores. He hides everything from you guys, so you're not going to get a feel. So does it become a receiver? Is it a DB? Is it an offensive lineman? Is it a linebacker? Where's the
probably
guy that gets cut?
It's probably somebody going on IR, and it could be anybody going on IR. Buy them 3 weeks till the next guy needs to go on IR. That person comes back. Trust me, you can do all kinds of roster management. That's my thought. That's what it'll be. And if it's not that, then you just demote Trill Williams or Robert Jones and put them on practice squad, or you cut the veteran John Jenkins and you put him on practice squad and bring him back and bring him off. And you could do a number of things if you need that spot. You will need that spot, but you'll do a number of things. There's all kinds of, they have one practice squad spot available, and I believe it can go to a vested veteran. So that's probably what they'll do. They'll probably pay John Jenkins $20,000 to be on the practice squad, and they can call him up to the 53 whenever they want to. He's here. He's a South Florida guy. That's why he's back. He's a veteran leader. He'll probably be a coach when he's done, maybe join this staff. So this is a guy that's not going to get all in his feelings when you practice squad him.
Okay. All right. So that's interesting. And so they would only activate him when they need him. He wouldn't be part of the regular rotation every week, because I would feel he's a guy you need against the run.
They got enough, unless something happens to. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if he's going to be a game day active. They've got Wilkins and Sealer and Ogba and and Raekwon Davis. I think they got enough on the defensive line that I'm not necessarily certain you got to carry John Jenkins on your D line. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. But the thing about the practice squad now is you can basically promote a guy. You can keep a veteran, any level veteran, which is why they have Jabal Sheard on their practice squad, and call him up for 3 games without even moving him back to your 53. And then if you want to move further, you can put him on the 53. And, so it's going to be a situation where when they need these guys, they call them up. Same thing with the running back situation, Laird and Dokes. They're going to play one of those guys. They're going to call them up because you're not going to go to a game with 3 running backs. It just doesn't make any sense. You need a 4th guy. So they're going to just they're just going to call up guys when they need them. And that's the new rules. COVID allows it.
Are you are you concerned that a lot of the receivers, they have a lot of receivers that don't help out on special teams, and considering how important it is for them to have two-way players, half that receiving core does not do anything on special teams.
You got one guy who's your top special teams player, and that's not who you're thinking. I'm talking about.
Well, Parker, Preston, Albert Wilson,
Parker,
and
Preston.
Parker, Preston, Albert Wilson, and Will Fuller. They don't help out on special teams. That's 4 guys. And Jalen Waddle is only going to be a spot special teams player because with that foot deal, they're not going to put him full time. And they brought Jakeem back, so obviously Jakeem's going to be the guy. So really, it's 4.5 in a way because they're not going to really.
You might use 2 receivers on special teams. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. They've got so many cornerbacks. They don't have a lot of linebackers, but they've got a lot of tight ends. They'll use tight ends on special teams. I'm not sure it's that much of a big deal to me. I don't really. To me, the whole receiver unit is, you just know that 2 of them are going to go down by the time we're at midseason. So you better carry 7. I
understand the method behind the madness of cover of,
and I think Preston Williams does special teams. He
punt returns, but it's not something he doesn't excel at it, and he's not. While Jakeem's there, you're not going to use him, dude. And now that you can't
use Jakeem for anything but a returner. You're asking for trouble if you do.
No. But what I'm saying is, you're going to use Jakeem mainly as a returner, so you don't really need Preston.
Can you imagine Jakeem as a gunner?
No, come on. And Jalen.
just think about that. Can you imagine Jakeem as a gunner taking off?
Well, I wouldn't want Jalen Waddle as a gunner. I wouldn't want Will Fuller as a gunner either. I mean, those guys would get injured too doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I'm just trying to think. Mac Hollins, and people don't have the respect for Mac Hollins.
Right, he's a stud.
He's a stud. If you know football, he's a stud. He's a star. He's Walt Aikens on special teams. I've never seen anybody better than Walt Aikens, and until I saw Mac Hollins, and I was like, God damn, this motherfucker's ruthless.
He's a player, man, and he's the best part about watching Mac Hollins was you knew that he could be a special teamer and be a really good one, but then how good can you help us out at wide receiver? And he's an incredibly dependable wide receiver, and that's what I'm impressed with, because sometimes you know how it is, those stud special teamers are kind of okay at doing something or bad at doing something else. This kid is good. He's a damn good receiver, man, and you can count him. He's tough. You know, that play he made with the drag route across the line of scrimmage, and the ball was thrown a little ahead of him, and he had to tip it, and he knew his ass was going to get smashed, and yet he hung onto the ball and took the hit. Love his toughness, man.
Yeah,
love his toughness.
He's much like a tight end, with a little speed. I love his game. I absolutely love everything about his game. I would build a team of Mac Hollins. I would, no question.
Well, you still need a couple Jalen Waddles in there.
You know what I'm saying.
You still need that. You gotta add that turbo, bro. You gotta add that twin turbo. You know what I'm saying? We saw the offense here with no turbo, and it was bad. It was bad.
Fuller
and no, I know, but wide receiver, you need Fuller and Waddle to really. They're going to change. They're going to change this offense now. Those 2 guys, and let's talk a little bit about that, because
I can't because I haven't seen Fuller do shit, so I can't. Like,
but you know what he's done. That has nothing. He's done more than Waddle, so he's done more than most of the guys on this team, actually. When he's right, that's going to be scary with those guys.
When's that gonna be?
Week 2.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Week 2. He'll be fine. He'll be ready to go. Well, you don't think he's gonna be ready for week 2?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Was he practicing some just a couple days ago?
Not really.
Wasn't he doing side work?
Bro, I've never seen
Nothing.
anybody miss. I've never seen anybody miss an entire camp, ever. Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, now that you think of, yeah, no, it's been,
I can't. So I can't sit there and like tell you. And hey, if this is what you got to do to get ready for the season and be 16, give me 16 strong. Okay. Even
yeah,
Devontae gives it a little go. Like,
yeah. But that's been kind of his whole MO. That's kind of what he's been the last couple of years. Kind of banged up, but then finds a way to get on the field and help you out a little bit. That's where I've given Devontae a lot of credit, that he has still had his injuries, but he's actually fought through a lot of them to stay on the field and help out.
He was playing with an injured back, or was that Jarvis? I can't remember. Like, Jarvis was playing with a broken back. Devontae had a back injury and he kept playing, but yeah, Devontae has fought through a lot of stuff to get to the game day. I remember the receiver coach telling me one time after the back injury, Devontae was in a pool catching balls, determined to make sure that he plays the next week. Didn't practice at all, just worked in a pool catching balls, and actually shot up and played. Props to him.
Yeah, no,
it really bothers him. This injury thing, it really bothers him. Now
you can tell.
Yeah. Now, what's he gonna do about it? You know, what can he do about it?
Can't do anything.
Yeah,
you can't do anything about it, bro. Listen, Doug Whaley was criticized when he was the GM at Buffalo, but he was just talking in the truth. He says, "Hey, man, the human body wasn't meant for this game," and it's true. You're actually a freak if you can stay injury-free or healthy in this game. Those guys that do that, that's another skill set. That's another talent that they have, that durability issue, because normally most of us, if we ever took the field, we would break down right away, just like Devontae Parker, because that's normal. The body was it's like watching pitchers. You think the arm was made to throw 95, 100, 103? Hell no, dude. Why do you think they're all having Tommy John surgery? Because eventually it gives out. And those that don't, dude, you're a freak. That's all it is. You're a freak. By the way, Dougie Fresh on our text line on YouTube says, question for Omar. From your time with Bowden, what is the one thing that he did that every coach should do?
Oh, great question. Bowden was when you signed on to play at FSU, Bowden took you from your mother, took you from your grandmother, took you from your family, and he became your father. He became your father. And no matter what you did, you got 3 strikes with Bobby. And Bobby was going to support you and love you like you were his own son. And he was going to give you those 3 strikes. I remember Lavernius Cole, my best friend, used to actually date Lavernius when he got in trouble in not for Dillard Gate, but he went up to Gainesville. His stepfather had beaten up his mother, and he went and beat up his stepfather and got arrested. Bobby supported him. Bobby was like, you know, I got your back, but this is strike 1. Then he had it was strike 2. Then strike 3 was Dillard Gate. And he was firm on his policy, and he loved Lavernius. But you know what? I got to let you go. And this is a guy who could have helped him win a national championship. He didn't end up winning a national championship that year, but Lavernius wasn't part of that team. And we all saw Lavernius was a super talented guy who went on and played many years in the NFL. But Bobby loved his players like they were his own kids, and he supported them. And you don't see that anymore. You really don't. And you should, because, you know, I know college athletics is really going to the professional route, and players can sign here and there and sign with agents and have marketing deals and all this kind of stuff. But it's really, I miss the college ranks, because you got a chance as a grown man. I got a chance to mentor Frank Gore and help him in many different regards as a media member, because and I remember one time I gave a player who went to the NFL diaper money because he didn't have his, you know, he had a kid and he had baby mama, and he was struggling and baby mama was stressing him and he couldn't come home with diapers. He didn't have fixed income. And I'm like, man, here's 20. Go get some diapers. You have an opportunity to have more of an impact on these young men. And Bobby had a huge impact, man. Those kids, Bobby left a huge imprint.
Of course. Yeah. No, there's no doubt. He was a father figure for many, but I think Bobby would have taken 1X off of Lavernius if Lavernius would have gotten him a pair of shoes at Dillard. See, hey, coach, I got you these sweet kicks. There you go. He might have taken one of those X's off. You know what I mean? By the way, just to close it out real quick, because we got to go here to the top of the hour to go to Inside the Paint with the boys. They're already in the batter's box, as they say. They're warming up right now instead, since it's basketball. All right, so the whole Watson thing, I want to close this out.
We can't close it out. Until he's traded, we can't close it out.
Okay, but this part here I want to close out.
Okay.
Because this is the part I have a hard time believing about this story.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing there was any kind of offers or negotiations now in the last couple of weeks, knowing there's 4 billion lawsuits. He doesn't get deposed till the spring. There's an investigation going on with the cops. There is no way anybody thought they were going to trade him now. Plus, the NFL, how would the NFL allow a trade right now? And if the guy's found guilty, here's a league that's allowing you to trade a sexual predator from one team to another.
The Eagles were absolutely trying to do it. So if one team's going to do it, another team's going to do it. And the Eagles got salty because their trade offer wasn't better than Miami's trade offer. And
okay.
That's it. That's where we are. This is how it all got out there. Now, if your trade offer is better than Miami's trade offer, then it makes me believe that Miami's trade offer still stands. Which Dolphins did not deny, did not leak. Dolphins got their leaks. If
they're not going
to leak it. Here's the thing that people need to get deep down in their spirit. The Dolphins, this is a situation like, as I said, you got a wife, you got a lady, but it's this fine lady out here who want to get with you. Now, you can't get with her right now. She might be going to jail. She's on probation. She's trouble, but she's bad.
Right.
And what you don't want to do is you don't want to close that door and say, "Nah, I can't be with you. You trouble. I got to distance myself from you." Because ultimately you're not comfortable with where your relationship is right now. And she bad. She real bad. You can't keep your eyes off her. So you basically say nothing. And you keep liking her pictures on Instagram. And if she calls, you text her back. You call, she might not answer, but you text her back. And you say, "I'm thinking about you." Right. Or you say, "Hope you're having a good day. Hope your legal situations get resolved. I'm happy where I'm at, but I'm thinking about you." That's exactly what's going on. Deshaun Watson wants to be here. Miami knows he wants to be here. They're not closing that door. For whatever reason, they're not closing that door.
Well, we do have a lot of IG models that live here in South Florida.
A lot of massage places, man.
Yeah, they're going to look for a ton of trouble. Omar, thank you as always, my brother. Have a great weekend and be safe out there, my friend. Next week we'll start talking a little Patriots.
All right, talk to you later, Big O.
You've been listening to the Ejdconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Ejdconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.